What's going on, guys? Ninja Turtles, number 8. Let me just take a quick moment, and I haven't touched too much on this. So, all of these books so far have been written by Jason Aaron. Now, the last couple books have been illustrated, or, the artwork's been done by Juan, and I'm not even going to attempt this last name, but we're going to go with Juan F. And this is actually Juan's cover, and this is one of my absolute favorite covers across all comics. Like, I just like how well everything got incorporated here. We got Donnie and Splinter. We got the other three brothers. We got April, and we got District Attorney Hale, all in one cover, and of course, all the Foot Clan. And it just looks so good. I really, really like this artwork. And Juan and Jason Aaron, the combo here has been absolutely stellar. I really like Jason's storytelling so far. And then Juan has been phenomenal. He's been one of my, if not my favorite artists up to this point for the Turtles. So excellent work here. And so let me just get right on into it. So New York City versus the Ninja Turtles Part 2, Fighting Our Way to Nowhere. So we're going to lead off with Leonardo. We got his internal monologue. And wouldn't you look at that? We have Leo fighting automatically. And I'm done harping from here on issue 3. It's really not as bad as I'm making it sound. I was just so disappointed in not seeing Leonardo fight in his own issue. Every chance that he got, it would cut away. It would go right before, right up to the fight, and then cut right after. And it was really disappointing. So good to see that. And so what we're getting is, while he's doing this, he keeps trying to meditate. He's trying to find himself elsewhere mentally. And he's trying to go back to the Ganges River. And that's what these panels are here. This is where he's at mentally. And we do see, no, actually, I'm here, and he explains everything that he's doing. Pretty awesome stuff. But, he's more or less lost. He's like, my mother's dead, my father's dead, my brothers are lost to me, they're so far away. Even though they're all in the same city, in the same location. They're actually all fighting in the subways together. So we got Mikey up here, up top. We got Leo in one car, Raph in another. So they're all in the same area, but not fighting together. They're not working with one another. And so I just want to also show this pretty awesome paneling, how we're all in one location, but it is all separated like panels. That's pretty awesome. I'm very much enjoying what Juan's doing here. So continuing on. Leo's explaining, it's kind of like a fruitless endeavor that they're always doing this. Every night they go into New York. They're trying to make their way, find Karari, make their way to Hale, something. And they're basically, by the end of the night, being chased back by the Foot Clan. So they're not making any headway. They still have no idea where Karari is. And Hale is basically protected by a small army of foot. So they're getting frustrated. And to top it all off, in the eyes of the public, they're still not exactly looked at as heroes. They're looked at as criminals and murderers and all that. So it's still not looking very good. Still pretty bleak. And so they're back in Newark, and they're just, basically licking their wounds and, getting bandaged up. And they see Donnie, and the internal monologue is letting us know, Donnie doesn't even talk to him. He doesn't even look at him. All he really does is, as Leonardo says, is he just talks to his rat, and occasionally at night they hear him sobbing. And that's really it. That's about all the more interaction that they get. So he just goes behind his curtain, and he's just doing his own thing. And Leo's like, I can't even, he's feeling sympathetic. He's like, I can't imagine what kind of torture he had to endure in those fighting pits, being behind that cage night after night. And he wants to reconnect with Donnie, and he's thinking about finally talking to the other two, but then he sees Mikey and Raph still going at it. constantly going back and forth. So he goes right back into his meditating, back in the Ganges River. So we cut over and we catch up with Hale over here, and he's like in an abandoned building, and he has like summoned a good chunk of the criminal force in New York there, and he's basically telling them, he's like, hey, look, you can play your odds. If you come across me as a DA, I'm gonna condemn you so quickly, even your mom's gonna wanna put you in the electric chair, or you guys can continue on doing the things that you love to do. I just ask that you wear this mask. That's all I need. And so, basically he's wanting, while they're doing that, for the public to look at everybody as a mutant. So, he's obviously got no love for the mutants. Now, he does get a little pushback from this mob leader over here. Basically, I'm not playing your games. If you and your little ninja soldiers want to come, for war, I'll bring you a war. And Hale's like, oh, does he speak on everybody's behalf here? And that mob leader is just like getting his ass beat by some of the rest of the crowd. Now, I do want to quickly make note of something. So this is a nitpick. I just want to start off by that. But we do have this table, right? Now, we see Hale walking over, but we don't see any other tables anywhere else. So it's safe to assume that he's somewhere here. Now, look at the table over here. It's just a table, not connected. If we look right over here, it ends. It doesn't continue in the horseshoe shape. And it's a lot shorter than it once was. So a little bit of a flaw there. Again, it's nitpicky, but I do want to point it out. I did notice that. So we're moving on. So yeah, while these guys are beating up this mob leader, Hale just makes like a note. He's like, hey, make sure you're wearing the mask. Kind of a humorous bit for me there. I at least got some chuckles out of that. It's like, yeah, he doesn't really care that there's a fight breaking out. He's just like, guys, while you're doing this, just wear the damn mask. So that night, Leo decides he's going to, follow Donnie around just to see what he's up to, because he doesn't talk to anybody. Nobody knows what he's doing. So he's like, okay. So he follows him in to this alleyway, and we see some guys getting ready to get mugged by these animal mask wearing people. Donnie shows up, kicks their ass, and this internal monologue that we're getting is Leo saying, okay, he's stopped crime here, there, everywhere, carjackings, assaults, muggings, all that stuff. And even though Donnie saves these guys, they're still blaming mutants for attacking them. So the Hale's plan is working. And Leo goes on to say, after Donnie was done with all of that, he goes to like a soup kitchen and he's helping, feed the hungry. So again, like I said in my last review, Donnie's really becoming a standout character for me. He's doing a lot of heroic stuff. And he seems to just be trying to focus on helping everyone. He's just letting bygones be bygones for what I'm seeing here. And then, they give him a plate of food there at the soup kitchen, but then he's just giving it to Splinter. And so, yeah, there's just a dead rat sitting in here, and Donnie's telling him, he's like, well, you need to gain your strength there, Splinter. We need you. And this has got Leo very concerned. He's like, man, this is even worse than I thought. And Donnie is not unaware of Leo, and so he calls out to him. He's like, you gonna follow me all night, or you want to do something useful? And so Leo comes over here, and the two start to talk. And Leo's like, what are you doing? And Donnie's like, well, isn't it obvious? I'm trying to beat the bad guys. And he's like, these, muggers and thieves and all this, carjackers, they're just symptoms of the problem. We need to go to the source of it all. And, he talks about how Hale is the guy that they need to go after. And Donnie is like, hey, look, Splinter's helping me out. He's telling me where we're most needed. We just need to listen to him. And this further concerns Leo. He's like, buddy, I need you to just be confined to the sewer at this point. Need to get you some rest. I'm just looking out for you. Get you better mentally and stuff like that. You know, he's very concerned. He's coming from a good place. But Donnie's like, you want to put me back in a cage? And he's like, no. I love you. You're my brother. And Donnie's like, yeah, I love you too. That's why I hate to do this. And starts attacking him. Tells Leo, you know, pull out the katanas. Let's go. I'm coming after you. And Leo tells him, you know, hey Donnie, you got to chill out, man. You're losing yourself. And Donnie's like, I've lost myself. You're not even where. How does he put it? He says, you're not even where your feet are. So basically, Donnie's aware that Leo's doing nothing but meditating and pretending he's in the Ganges River. And he calls him out on that. And this pisses off Leo, you know, because he's like, you know, you couldn't save the turtles there, but you can save the people here. You need to wake up. And the two are having it out. And Leo says, you're just a lunatic who talks to a dead rat. And just then, one of the strikes dislodges Splinter from the shoulder. Donnie dives after it off of a building and scares the shit out of Leo. He's like, oh God, he just offed himself right there. But, you know, luckily Donnie lands in a garbage truck. And he's like, you know, Leo, I know you feel like you failed out there in the Ganges River, that you failed your quest, but you've only just started your quest. And then as he takes off, he's like, and by the way, that's not me crying every night. And so, you know, Leo's like, wow, this is bad. Donnie's losing himself, but I've lost my temper, and starts to meditate. And at first he starts off at the Ganges River again, but no, he's coming back to the rooftops. And he starts to hear for the cries for help that Donnie was pointing out to him, and starting to realize maybe Donnie's got something going there. So now we cut over. I'm going to catch up to April. She's hanging around this alleyway, talking to a couple people who's talking about a bunch of rats that go by and basically become like a moving shadow. And they point her in the direction from where they are, and it's like, hey, you know, it's kind of dangerous over there. I don't know if you really want to go over. And so April explains to this alleyway that's all dark that she's not really sure what was all of that at her store, but ever since then, she hears it in like the walls, the sewers, the subways. She hears sobbing. And so I'm like, okay, maybe we are going with this is like something with Splinter. And so basically she's like, I just wanted to say hi, and I'm looking for my friend, and I know we can't see it here, but she's got her phone light on, and a bunch of little eyes are now starting to watch her. All right, and now we're going to take a quick jog over and catch up with the Foot Clan. These three are demanding that they speak with Karari, who's behind the two doors that these guards are watching over. And the guards respond, you know, she's left specific instructions not to be disturbed whatsoever. And they're like, okay, well, Hale is treating us like little, you know, lapdogs and making us go out there and do things that's just not honorable. And her grandfather would be pissed by this. So you can either let us through, or we'll go through and have your blood on our batons while we go talk with her. And then we see that they're talking to Bebop and Rocksteady, who are like, all right, you ready to have some fun? And so the two beat the hell out of the Foot Clan. And make note of this guy trying to make his way to the doors that they're guarding. And then the two talk amongst themselves and says, you know, hey, there is something wrong with that Hale guy, and maybe somebody should go over and talk with Karari about this. And the guy who was making his way to the door tries to open it and is immediately turned into like skeletal dust here. And Rocksteady says, "I think I can tell you exactly what Karari's doing in that in there, buddy." And Bebop's like, "What's that?" Says, "None of our damn business." And I was like, okay, that's another funny part. Skeletal dust glowy thing here. What remains of one of the Foot Clan soldiers. And so back over with Newark, we see Mikey and Raph are over here already feeling the fights. And Leo comes in. He's looking for Donnie. Mikey's like, he's in his hole. Where else? And Leo's trying to like talk to him. He's like, "Hey, you called me out on some shit, and I think all of us need to come together. What do you say?" And he's not hearing any response. He's like, "Come on, I know you're there." Pulls out the cover and is surprised and calls out to the other two. And what we see is a note here, and this note says, "Brothers, take care of Master Splinter for me. Hug him when he cries. Love, Donnie." And so Mikey's like, Splinter, or, the dead rat has never left Donnie. What could this mean? Raph's like, "Well, it looks like he's finally lost it. We need to go figure out where he's at." Immediately starts to head out that way. And Leo's like, "Do you guys not hear that?" And Mikey's like, "Hear what?" And so I'm going to read these last couple bits. So here, take a look at these pictures. And it says, "It wasn't Donnie who was weeping." And then the inner monologue says, "I am kneeling in the sewers of Newark, seeking enlightenment. In all the years since the aquarium at Stockman's Labs, everything has changed, and yet somehow nothing is different." And now he's speaking out loud. He says, "All right, Master, I'm listening." So we'll get back to that. So looks like Donnie might not be crazy after all. Speaking of Donnie, let's catch up with him. Now, I believe that this is City Hall, and we see he is walking up the stairs. He's being stopped by the Foot Clan, and he says, "I'm Donnie, I'm a mutant, and something keeps telling me that I must be in a cage." And that is the end of issue 8. And once again, another fantastic, strong addition to this series. I am really liking where we're going with all of this. Like, we got heroes who are starting off just constantly on the back foot, at odds with one another, at odds with everybody in the city. The Foot have gotten such a huge hold over the city. It is just a nonstop uphill battle. And you just know if they could just pull their heads out of their asses and, start to work together again, that things could start to get better. And it looks like we are trending in that direction. So, but yeah, we got some really good stuff here. Like I said, I couldn't recommend this series enough. I'm really liking where we're going. So that is all I have for today, guys. So until next time, take care and God bless.